can't forget the joy in the spiritual path. Because joy in the African tradition, or the Southern African tradition, in terms of the Sangoma tradition, which I can speak about with confidence, the singing and the drumming and the dancing is all about joy. And we have a singular purpose to connect with our ancestors, to connect with our bones, to connect with our blood, and to connect with that beautiful place of Tobakida, of humility inside of us. So I'd like to sing a song and teach a song to everyone. And this song I call Umoya, which means spirit. Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Unaman la la la, Unaman la la la, Unaman la, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Otiko wam, wam wam, Otiko wam, wam wam, Otiko wam, Otiko wam, wam wam, Otiko wam, wam wam, Otiko wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam, wam wam, Umoya wam. So the heartbeat brings through the joy. We are singing with the rhythm of the heartbeat, and we are singing with our bodies, with our hands, with our spirits. How can we not be happy? These are the teachings from Southern Africa. These are the teachings from Africa. And I pay homage to Africa and all the teachers and the holy people who have brought these ways through, despite prejudice, despite a history of incredible pain and suffering and subjugation. I pay homage to these old people and ancestors, going back to time before time, who've kept these old ways alive. As we say in Xhosa, Siti Kamago, Siyabulela Manyange, Siti Kamago, Siyabulela, Amagqirha, Bangaphansi, Emlanjeni, Siti Kamago, siyabulela, siyathandaza, sithi qamako. So in English is, we honor and praise the old people. We honor and praise the bones, the amatambo, sithi qamako. We honor and praise you for keeping these old ways alive and teaching us how we can become fully realized human beings. Sithi qamako. We honor and praise you. Qamako. So, thanks very much.
Thank you.
For joining us today. Do you have any other questions from what I was talking about? Is the system of this Sangoma practice and these teachings, does it make sense to you?
Yes, it does make sense. I just sometimes feel a little sad that I don't know more about my ancestors because my parents just didn't talk about them, and I think part of that has to do in America with my parents leaving the South and coming north to make a better life, and they left things behind, and they just don't talk about. They never talked about the past really and the people. So I know you have said your ancestors are in your bones, and I just wish I knew more about who they were when they were alive.
Yeah, I hear you there, Ben. And all I can say to you really is, when you start to do the prayers in terms of you saying the name of your mother's line and your father's line, and you saying it out, you vocalize it, and you have a white candle, you have some smoke and you have some prayers and you just say it out. Over time you're going to start to just feel your ancestors, feel their blood. So it's not really about knowing or getting information. It's not necessarily a cerebral thing. It becomes a visceral experience. It becomes an embodied experience. So I don't want you to worry about whether you have enough information about your ancestors in terms of their names and dates and where they're from and all that kind of information. Information is not important. What is important is the feeling, is the guts, is the bones, because that's much deeper, and you'll be able to feel the truth of who they were, because they're going to be coming through you. And then those dreams about them will come through you. And the information is not important. It's a visceral feeling, gutsiness that's going to come through you. So I don't want you to worry about it. It's sad if you don't know enough about them.
Right.
But I don't want you to worry about that, because you are the living ancestor. And by saying the names of the great ones in your family with conviction, with authority, with humility, by honoring and praising your mother's line and your father's line, you're going to be igniting the spiritual energy in your blood. And then the information will come through in a feeling, visceral way through your dreams. And that's where we're looking for. As African people, as human beings, as healers, that's where we're looking. Don't worry about information.
Okay.
We've got Google for information. We've got iPhones. We've got iPhones for information. You want to feel. You want your bones to go on fire. That's where you need to go.
Yes.
When your bones are on fire, then come to me.
Okay.
But you won't need to, because you're going to feel what you need to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to talk about the training that you do too, like the protection training that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm doing at the moment in America is, or you could say in the Western world, is teaching people how to pray in an ancestral way, in a deeply spiritual way. And what I'm teaching is just one aspect of spiritual life. It depends what calls you. So what I'm teaching might call someone, but people might be called in other ways. We are called in all different ways in different spiritual paths. So the essence of the practice I'm bringing is what we call Ubuntu Ubunzulu, which means the depth of humanity. Teaching people how to pray, how to connect with their ancestors, how to connect with their bones, and then how to find their destiny, how to find their life path. That's stage number 2. And along that way, we are dreaming. We are always dreaming. So another thing that I do is I teach people how to work with plant medicine. Plant medicine that helps us to dream. So in our culture, in the Xhosa and in the Zulu way, we work with medicinal plants. We work with raw plants from nature, from the bush, from the forest. And we process the plants in a particular way with prayers. And we work with the physicality of the plants to help us to dream. Because for us, we say the dream world is a very, very powerful world. It's a world that connects us to infinite time and space and to infinite intelligence. And it's a world to be treated with a lot of respect. So when we start our spiritual journey in terms of we're walking along the path of being a Sangoma, we start working with plants to help protect us in body, mind and spirit, so that when we are dreaming, we are not completely naked, that our bodies are protected. And when we are working with plant medicine, we start to take on the aura of nature. And the aura of nature is green. It's green. But it's not just green, it has a particular resonance. So when we start working with bathing in plants, and drinking plant medicine, washing with plant medicine, we start to clean our bodies, clean our auras, clean our spirits. And we have to do this as a practice, as a Sangoma. We do this as a practice, so that when we are dreaming, we are protected, and we are cleansed, and we are prepared to go to those deeper places. Because we know in our culture that if you don't work with plant medicine, if you don't work with protection medicine, you're not going to walk very far along the dreaming path or the dreaming world. Because our bodies, in this world, our bodies are physical and we're walking. But when we're sleeping, our bodies, our spirits become very light. What we do during the day resonates with us in the dream time. So during the day, we watch how we walk, we watch how we pray, we watch how we use our spirit. So the first thing for us is to develop a relationship with the plant world, with the animal world, to develop allies. The allies in the plant world strengthen us, cleanse us, protect us, and help merge our spirits with nature. As our spirits merge with nature, we become more confident, more embodied human beings. And then the next stage for us is, when we're dreaming, we enter the world beyond time, beyond space, and we are ready to receive teachings from the ancient ones. So I have a training course which I like to run, teaching people how to work with plant medicine and prayer, teaching people how to cultivate, how to harvest, and how to prepare plant medicine that they can use for their own practice. Practice of dreaming, practice of connecting with their bones and their blood, the practice of connecting with their hearts, so that they can follow their life path, so that they can find the direction, so that they can find their way in this world and then help other people. So yes, I have a plant and prayer course where I show people how to work with plant medicine, how to work with the pine tree, how to work with the lavender and herbs in a particular way. It's not difficult, but it requires concentration. It requires a meditative, contemplative mind. And I show people how to do this in a practical way. Not in an intellectual way, in a practical way, so that they can go home, that they can cleanse themselves, they can cleanse their families, their children, their animals, and they can enter the spirit world, enter the dream time. So it's a very dynamic course, and I run it over 2 weeks, and the first week is done in residence in the countryside in Massachusetts. And then after that, people have 2 months of working with these ways, and they have a chance to talk to me and work with me over Skype or over the phone. And then I come back 3 months later, or 2 months later, and then we have the second week. So it's a 2-week course. It requires, like I say, concentration and a still mind and an ego heart. So I hope you'll all come and bring your friends, your family. We could all be cleansed by nature and by the herbs and plants and help this world from suffering. As we say in Xhosa, we honor and praise the great ones and the ancestors. Thank you. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
So I think I'll finish off with the song.
Good.
Okay. So I thank my friends, Ben and Kathy, for being with us today. And I hope what I've said has been informative and helpful in some ways to the viewers and also to you. Has it been helpful?
Yes,
Great.
absolutely.
Oh, good. I hope I was clear enough.
Yeah.
Excuse me for waffling if I have been. Oh, Yamasiembo. Oh, Yamasiembo. Yo, Yamasiembo. Oh, Yamasiembo. Yo, Yamasiembo. Oh, Yamasiembo. Yo, Yamasiembo. Oh, Masiembo. Oh, Yamasiembo. Yembo. Oh, Yamasiembo. Yembo. Oh, Yamasiembo. Unamandela wam, unamandela wam, unamandela wam, unamandla, unamandela wam, unamandela wam, unamandela wam, unamandla. Oh, Masiembo, Yamasiembo, Yembo, oh, Yamasiembo, Yembo, oh, Yamasiembo. Oh, tico wam, oh wam. Oh, tico wam, wam, wam. Oh, tico wam, oh, Masiembo, Yembo, Masiembo, Yembo. Oh, Masiembo, Yembo, oh, Masiembo. Camaku ini bashikazi bam, camaku. Camaku Thixo wam, camaku. Siyanqola sithi nasicamaku. Siyanqola amathambo camaku. Igama lami ucingo lwendaba. Ndiyanqola amanyange camaku. So I honor and praise the great ones. I honor and praise the bones. I honor and praise the Great Spirit. And as I'm honoring and praising, I'm saying my name. My name is ucingo lwendaba. And I thank the great ones for this life, for this moment. Thank you.